Imagine a superpower lasting 12 centuries, erased in under 2 decades. Persia, heart of Zoroastrian fire temples, epic kings, and a language older than Arabic, fell by 651 AD. Its armies collapsed, its treasures looted, its gods forgotten. Yet Persia did not vanish. It absorbed Islam, reshaped it, and emerged stronger. Today, 1400 years later, that ancient fusion is cracking open. Empty mosques, mass protests, and young Iranians reclaiming Cyrus the Great's legacy mark a new turning point. What happens when a civilization so ancient that its name meant land of the Aryans bows to a new faith? And what happens when it claims that faith as its own? This is the hidden history they don't teach you, and what it means for Iran's future. Let's start at the fall of an empire to see how everything began. By 633 AD, the Sasanian Empire, exhausted after decades of Byzantine wars and internal strife, stood on the brink. A devastating plague had ravaged its people. Its treasury lay empty. Its armies, once fearsome, were depleted. Meanwhile, the Rashidun Caliphate's troops, unified under a single faith and led by Khalid ibn al-Walid, struck with lightning speed. In 636 AD at Qadisiyah, 30,000 Arabs routed a Sasanian force of 120,000. 6 years later, at Nahavand, the victory of victories, Persian resistance collapsed. By 651, young Yazdegerd III, the last Sasanian king, was murdered while fleeing. In just 18 years, one of history's greatest empires crumbled. Military conquest proved swift, cities smoldered, temples lay silent. Yet in palaces and bazaars, life continued. Barter traded hands even under new rulers. Religious conversion unfolded slowly. For the first century under Arab rule, most Persians remained Zoroastrian, Christian, or Jewish. They paid the jizya tax and kept their laws. The jizya funded garrison cities, but also traded stability for spiritual autonomy. Arab governors lived in garrison cities and rarely imposed faith. Islam spread through trade, intermarriage, and the persuasive power of Sufi missionaries. And a powerful incentive: convert, and you escaped the jizya. By 850 AD, Iran's majority had embraced Islam. Yet this was not Arabization. It was the beginning of a Persian Renaissance. From conquest to cultural resurgence, how did Persia reinvent its soul? Islam brought the Arabic script to Iran. Within 2 centuries, Pahlavi inscriptions vanished. But the Persian language survived and flourished in a new form. By the 9th century, New Persian emerged, half Persian vocabulary, half Arabic script. It became the lingua franca of poetry, scholarship, and administration from Samarkand to Sind. Around 1010 AD, the poet Ferdowsi labored for 30 years on the Shahnameh, 50,000 couplets charting the exploits of legendary Persian kings. He wrote in Persian under Muslim patrons. He preserved Persia's myths through Islam, not against it. Meanwhile, in Isfahan, artisans fused Sasanian architectural forms, 4 Iwan courtyards, turquoise tilework, pointed arches, with Islamic function. The dome of Sheikh Latfallah Mosque echoes ancient fire temple vaults. Persia had not surrendered its identity, it had reinvented it. Fast forward to the 16th century, to the Safavid Revolution. A new conflict emerged, not of swords but of faith. For 8 centuries, most Iranians followed Sunni Islam. Then, in 1501, 15-year-old Shah Ismail first mounted his horse, declared Twelver Shia Islam the state religion, and forever altered Iran's fate. His rivals, the Sunni Ottomans, loomed to the west. To unify his realm, he exiled Sunni scholars and imported Shia jurists. Overnight, rituals like Ashura processions and mourning for Imam Hussein became state ceremonies. Karbala replaced ancient legends at the center of national identity. This political move created a hierarchical Shia clergy, mullahs, ayatollahs, marjas, a structure that survived nearly 5 centuries to shape the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Without the Safavids, there would be no Ayatollah Khomeini. Under Safavid patronage, Persia's scholarly institutions thrived. Between the 9th and 14th centuries, Persian minds led the Islamic Golden Age. Avicenna of Bukhara wrote the Canon of Medicine, Europe's medical foundation until the 17th century. Al-Biruni measured Earth's radius within 0.3% accuracy. Omar Khayyam reformed the calendar, solved cubic equations, and built observatories. And Rumi spun 60,000 verses of Sufi poetry, calling his Masnavi the Quran in Persian. Baghdad's Abbasid caliphs borrowed Sasanian administration and court ceremony, recognizing Persian genius. In every field, medicine, astronomy, philosophy, mathematics, literature, Iranian scholars carried the torch of civilization. Picture the hush of twilight in an Isfahan square, where the call to prayer echoes against shimmering mosaics, a faith woven with poetry in every tile. How did faith become national architecture? Now we arrive in today's Iran to examine 3 major social shifts. But these shifts do not emerge in a vacuum. They sprout from 1,400 years of adaptation, resistance, and resilience. First, the rise of secular identity. A 2020 Gaman survey found only 32% of Iranians now identify as Shia. Nearly half report moving from religion to non-religion in their lifetime. Mosque attendance has plummeted. Yet ancient festivals, Nowruz, Yalda, Charshanbe Suri, have never been more popular. Young Iranians post images of Cyrus the Great, not clerics, on social media. They're crafting a national identity untethered from religion. These young Iranians speak in Persian, but their vocabulary includes words like freedom, choice, and dissent, terms once punished by law. Second, women redefining the rules. After Mahsa Amini's death in 2022, the woman life freedom protests erupted. Women publicly burned headscarves, challenging state control over dress and faith. 70% of Iranians now oppose mandatory hijab, polls show. The post-2000 generation did not live through the revolution. They see political Islam as politics, not personal faith. Their protests echo in squares and on social media feeds. Graffiti against the veil and chants for liberty fill every corner of Tehran. Third, the clergy's waning authority. The Shia clergy once held unquestioned power as guardians of Islam. Now, corruption scandals, economic hardship, and repression have eroded trust. Reformist clerics are sidelined. Friday sermons draw empty rows. Even in Qom, the clerical heartland, fewer pilgrims walk its courtyards. Sermons that once commanded respect now compete with tweets and TikToks. The internet exposes young Iranians to global life standards, from Dubai's skyline to Turkey's freedoms, and they ask why their society remains restricted. The answer they reject, because the clerics say so. This modern tension piques another conflict, choice versus tradition. Will Iran's future embrace secular governance and personal freedom? Or will its clerics reclaim authority? History suggests adaptation. This culture endures by absorbing change. Experts warn that this tension could redefine the Middle East's balance of power when Iran chooses itself. The region shifts too. Islam didn't destroy Persia, it transformed it. Iran gave Islam its language, its poetry, its science, and its mysticism. Islam gave Iran a global faith and a unifying identity. But history never stops. The same land that resisted Alexander, weathered the Mongols, that outlasted the Arabs, now negotiates a new social contract. Most Iranians are not abandoning faith, but they are redefining its place in public life. They seek a government of choice, not coercion. That is Iran's hidden story, a tale of resilience, synthesis, and survival. And now a new chapter begins, the rise of choice. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more informative videos.